Tonight on KVUE News at 10, the state's ban on medical treatments for transgender children halted by a judge. But it doesn't just affect kids. We'll tell you what it means for adults.
And Texans were asked to conserve energy this evening. The grid still working hard to keep up. We speak with ERCOT CEO and take a look at the grid's conditions now.
Plus, it's been 2 years since an arson attack at a central Austin synagogue. We take a look at the rebuilding process as they celebrate their first service since the attack. And 1 year after a man is found dead in the parking lot of Barton Springs Pool, police are still searching for answers. The latest on that investigation. Live from Austin, KVUE News at 10 starts now. Thank you for being with us on this Friday night. I'm Brian Mays.
And I'm Quita Culpepper. A Travis County judge has blocked the state's upcoming ban on gender-affirming care for minors. It's the latest move in a legal fight over transgender rights. The law would have prohibited doctors from providing gender-affirming surgeries to children.
Some adults would have also lost access to gender-affirming care as Medicaid would have no longer covered treatments for adults. Doctors who violated the law face the possibility of having their licenses revoked and being sued by patients. So far, more than 20 states have adopted laws to ban some type of gender-affirming care for minors. Officials with the Texas Attorney General's office quickly appealed that decision. That happened just before 5 p.m. this afternoon.
In other news tonight, Central Texas continues to roast in this extreme heat, but that's not stopping people from catching some Friday night football.
Roast is the right word, isn't it? As we take a live look out over downtown Austin. Yeah, big night of football, a big night in downtown, and a big temperature still on the board. The sun has gone down, but it's still hot. Excessive heat warning expected again tomorrow for the state of Texas.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams is here with a look at what this means for us for the weekend. And Hunter, I saw some pretty high temperatures coming for us.
Yeah, you know, Quita, Brian, today we hit 107. That was a daily record. We will be slightly cooler for tomorrow, but I still have 105 in the forecast. And then Sunday is likely just as hot as today, up around 107. You mentioned how warm it is outside this evening. I mean, we are after 10 o'clock and temperatures are still well into the 90s. It is 94 right now in Austin, Westlake at 96 degrees. Some places in the hill country in the upper 80s where there's actually been a little bit of rain out there this evening. None of this has fallen across the metro, but across northern Burnett into parts of Llano County and now Mason and northern Gillespie County, a now weakening complex of showers is moving through. I found one LCRA sensor on the north side of Lake Buchanan, which had about 1/10 of an inch of rain, so it wasn't much. Tonight it will be a mostly clear sky. We drop down to around 80 degrees, and then the heat is on for tomorrow afternoon, 105. Sunday 107, but notice by Monday our rain chances trending higher. That is a little cool front entering our forecast. We'll talk about a cool down behind it coming up in just a few minutes.
Boy, that 50% looks great, Hunter. Thanks a lot. ERCOT expecting another high demand for power this weekend. ERCOT has issued conservation appeals the last 2 days. Expect another one tomorrow. This afternoon, ERCOT officials told us the high demand and extreme heat have led power reserves to be lower than usual.
So the combination of both the very high heat, the associated high demand with that, and the low wind production is causing us to have some concerns about the availability of reserves throughout the evening.
Now, officials expect these conditions to last through the weekend. ERCOT says conservation yesterday successfully prevented the utility from taking emergency operations. You can watch that full interview with ERCOT's CEO, Pablo Vegas, on the website KVUE.com and KVUE's YouTube page. Let's take a look now at the current grid conditions. On the left-hand side, you see the two colored lines. As long as those lines don't meet, we're in good shape, and that is the case again tonight. The grid should continue to have enough supply to meet demand through the overnight hours tonight.
A community whole again, years after an attack on their synagogue. Congregation Beth Israel in Austin hosting its first service inside a new place of worship. Now, the work isn't over when it comes to rebuilding, but members of the synagogue say hate did not win. KVUE's Kelsey Sanchez breaks down their message.
Crime tape, plywood, and boxes of memories scattered throughout the sanctuary of Congregation Beth Israel. It's where the Jewish community came together to worship and celebrate. Now it's an area filled with what used to be. A space not forgotten, just finding its way back. Friday night showcasing almost 2 years of work for the synagogue that was the target of an arson attack in 2021.
We had to figure out we can't use the old sanctuary. We have security issues with it as well. So what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? And over time, the decision was made that we would create a transitional worship space.
Laura Corman was in charge of creating that space, which is feet away from the old sanctuary. Corman and other members of the synagogue utilizing their strength in numbers to rebuild and start over.
The goal was to bring every aspect and every generation of our congregation into this one space, because he doesn't win.
Taking pieces of what was ruined in the flames and making them whole once again.
We will continue to show up. We will continue to gather, and even a fire, even all the various weather incidences that have occurred, no matter what it is, we will still be here, and we will be here for thousands more years because we care and because this matters to us.
Although the community had to abandon a place they've called home for so many years, and there's still a long way to go until this space is complete, Friday night's first service in a new sanctuary, serving as a reminder the flames didn't burn their spirit.
Every community shouldn't have to go through what we've gone through. And so my hope is that we as a city can stand up and say that we all belong. When we say y'all, we mean all here in Austin.
For KVUE News, I'm Kelsey Sanchez.
Thank you, Kelsey. And the suspect, 20-year-old Franklin Seacrest, pleaded guilty to arson and a hate crime in federal court. His sentencing hearing is set for November. He faces up to 20 years in prison.
Today marks 1 year since someone killed a man near Barton Springs Pool. Austin police asking for the public to help them catch the killer. 27-year-old Camnick Campbell was found dead in a parking lot near Barton Springs Pool. Officers found a car that looked like it had bullet holes in the windows, but no one was inside. A trail of blood actually led police to Campbell's body nearby. 1 year later, detectives still don't have a motive and say they've exhausted all leads. Anyone with any information encouraged to call Austin Police Homicide Tip Line. That number is right there on your screen.
Here's your news flash recapping Friday's other headlines. 400 inmates are being transferred to other prisons across the state after a fire at a prison in Huntsville this morning. That fire started in the attic. No injuries were reported, and the cause is under investigation.
Hutto ISD has seen a rotation of school buses needing consistent AC repairs. The school district trying a new pickup system to keep kids cooler and reduce traffic. They're also reminding parents to pack an extra water bottle for kids to take on the bus.
Houston will host the 2028 Republican National Convention, where they'll select the party's presidential nominee. Organizers said they wanted to hold the convention in a place where conservative Hispanic candidates have historically done well.
Austin's professional bull riding team, the Austin Gamblers, returning to the Moody Center this weekend. Now, if you didn't get the chance to see them tonight, they'll be riding again tomorrow night at 6:45, Sunday afternoon at 1:45. For ticket information, head to the website KVUE.com.
Tonight, customers of Wells Fargo experiencing problems once again. The Security and Exchange Commission says the bank overcharged nearly 11,000 investment advisory accounts. The grand total of that overcharge comes out to nearly $27 million in extra fees. Wells Fargo is now paying a penalty and reimbursing affected customers. All this comes just a day after customers reported problems using their credit cards and the payment app Zelle. The company is still working to resolve those problems. Today, U.S. mortgage rates are the highest they've been since 2001. The 30-year fixed rate average is 7.23% for the week. The new data is from Freddie Mac, whose chief economist predicts rates will stay at this level or climb higher in the short term.
Coming up here on the News at 10, the U.S. men's national soccer team is coming back to Austin and Q2 Stadium. We'll tell you when you can see them in action.
And an Austin tradition returns to the Congress Avenue Bridge. Bat Fest is tomorrow. Those details when we come back.